Chosen one, listen to me carefully. This message is not for everyone, and it did not reach you by accident. You did not stumble into this by coincidence. You did not hear these words because the algorithm was kind. You are hearing this because heaven interrupted your scroll before a door opens, before a shift happens, before something God has been preparing in secret begins to move in the natural. And if you are here to mock, to argue, to debate, to collect spiritual entertainment, this warning is not for you. You can leave now. This is not content for curious spectators. This is not noise for people who want revelation, but refuse correction. This is for the one who has been carrying something quietly, sensing something close, feeling the pressure in the spirit, knowing that God is doing something, but also feeling a strong restraint not to explain it yet. Chosen one, God is not asking for silence because nothing is happening. He is asking for silence because something is close. Hear that again. The silence is not proof of emptiness. The silence is proof of nearness. When heaven tells you to stop talking, it is not because the promise died. It is because the promise has entered a sensitive stage. It is because what God is about to do cannot be handed to the wrong ears before it is fully covered, fully formed, and fully released. This warning came not early, not late, but right before God shifts something in your life, right before the conversation changes, right before the evidence appears, right before the thing you prayed for starts making movement behind the scenes. And God is saying with force, do not tell them what I am about to do. Do not announce it. Do not explain it. Do not hint at it. Do not post fragments of it trying to see who celebrates you. Do not give access to people God has not assigned to your next season. This is not fear. This is not secrecy. This is not pride. This is obedience. This is protection. This is spiritual strategy. Silence is your alignment. Silence is your shield. Silence is the lock on a door God has not opened publicly yet. If you receive this warning, like this video as an act of agreement. Subscribe so you do not miss what God is revealing next. And comment, I will protect what God is preparing. Declare it before your emotions talk you out of obedience. Because before the blessing becomes visible, you must understand why silence is being required. God is not trying to hold you back. He is trying to keep the promise from being exposed before the appointed time. Chosen one, you have been calling it delay, but God calls it covering. You have been looking at the calendar saying, Lord, why is it taking so long? But heaven is looking at the assignment saying, it is too valuable to expose too early. You thought nothing was moving because you could not see evidence. You thought God was silent because people around you had updates and you had restraint. You thought you were behind because doors were not opening in front of an audience. But God said, I have been working behind closed doors. I have been moving where they cannot see. I have been arranging what your mouth was not allowed to announce. This hidden season is not proof that God forgot you. It is proof that He is protecting what He promised. Hear me clearly. God is not ignoring you. He is hiding you. God is not withholding from you. He is covering you. God is not punishing you with silence. He is using silence as a shield. There are some things heaven will not let become public while they are still being formed, because public discussion can put pressure on what is still tender. Public opinions can bruise what is still becoming. Public access can contaminate what God is still consecrating. Some blessings cannot survive the wrong conversation while they are still forming, not because the blessing is weak, but because the stage is sensitive. A seed does not grow on top of the ground just because people want proof. Roots grow in darkness. Seeds split underground. The first breaking does not look like breakthrough to people who do not understand process. It looks hidden. It looks buried. It looks forgotten. But under the soil, something is happening. Under the silence, something is stretching. Under the covering, something is taking root. And oil is not poured publicly before it is prepared privately. Oil is crushed out. Oil is processed. Oil is separated. Oil carries weight because it went through pressure before it ever touched a head in public. Chosen one, God is not just preparing the blessing. He is preparing the vessel that will carry it. That is why you cannot keep explaining every shift, every dream, every sign, every opportunity, every quiet confirmation. Some of what God is doing in you is sacred before it is visible. And sacred things do not belong in casual mouths. You have felt that pressure. You wanted to explain. You wanted to tell them, something is happening. You wanted to prove you were not crazy. You wanted to defend the season. You wanted to show them that you were not stagnant, not forgotten, not abandoned, not failing. But God said, do not use explanation to medicate insecurity, because every time you explain what is still sacred, you risk exposing what is not ready to be handled. This is spiritual law. Exposure attracts interference. Interference slows momentum. When you release information before God releases the moment, you create noise around a process that required peace. You invite opinions into a place that needed prayer. You invite questions into a place that needed quiet. You invite eyes into a place that God deliberately covered. And the enemy cannot stop what God has ordained, but he will try to distract you, drain you, provoke you, and pull your focus through premature exposure. That is why God has been closing your mouth. That is why certain conversations feel heavy. That is why your spirit tightens when you are about to say too much. That is not paranoia. That is discernment. That is not confusion. That is instruction. The Holy Spirit is warning you before your words create access your season cannot afford. Chosen one, stop measuring divine movement by public evidence. God does some of his deepest work where no one can applaud it, question it, copy it, or attack it. Hidden does not mean inactive. Quiet does not mean empty. Covered does not mean canceled. The promise is not delayed because you cannot show it yet. The promise is protected because God has not released it yet. And now you must understand this next truth with sober eyes. Not everyone who listens is safe. Not everyone who smiles is assigned. Not everyone who asks questions is qualified to witness your becoming. Chosen one, everyone who wants information does not deserve access. Let that settle in your spirit, because some questions sound innocent, but they are not innocent. Some people are not asking because they want to pray with you. They are asking because they want to measure you. They want to monitor you. They want to know how close you are, how serious it is, how much favor is on it, how far God has brought you, and whether they still have time to speak doubt into it before it becomes undeniable. This is why discernment has to be sharper than your desire to be understood. There are people who will say, "So what is going on with you?" but their spirit is not clean. There are people who will say, "Tell me everything," but they have never covered you in prayer. There are people who will smile while collecting details, and then turn those details into private opinions, secret conversations, quiet resistance, and spiritual interference. Chosen one, do not confuse curiosity with care. Curiosity wants information. Care wants covering. Curiosity wants details. Care wants your obedience protected. Pay attention to the jealous friend who claps slowly when your name is mentioned. Pay attention to the relative who minimizes every dream God gives you, who says you are doing too much, believing too big, expecting too much, becoming too different. Pay attention to the person who disappears when you are struggling, but suddenly appears when progress is near. Pay attention to the one who needs every detail before they can celebrate. If they cannot rejoice until they have control, that is not celebration. That is surveillance. This is not about hating people. Hear me clearly. This is not bitterness. This is not paranoia. This is not walking around suspicious of everybody. This is discernment. God is not teaching you to hate people. He is teaching you to govern access. You can love people and still not tell them everything. You can forgive people and still not invite them into your inner room. You can honor people and still refuse to hand them the blueprint. Love is not the same as access. Forgiveness is not the same as permission. Peace is not the same as exposure. Chosen one, examine the pattern. Who becomes cold when you share good news? Who changes tone when they see favor coming near your life? Who gets quiet when you say God is opening a door? Who makes you feel guilty for believing God for more? Who always brings the conversation back down when your faith starts rising? Who makes you shrink after you speak? Who causes confusion after you share clarity? That pattern is speaking. Stop ignoring what the pattern keeps revealing. Some people cannot attack what they do not know. Some people cannot sabotage what they cannot locate. Some people cannot speak against what has not been revealed. And yes, the enemy cannot read your mind, but he can listen to your mouth. He can use the wrong ear, the wrong conversation, the wrong emotional opening, the wrong moment of vulnerability, and turn your unguarded words into pressure against your assignment. That is why God is saying, do not give location to what I am still covering. Do not announce it. Do not explain it. Do not defend it. Do not hint at it. Do not dress it up as a testimony before it is time. Do not feed it to people who are not assigned to cover it. Do not hand your next season to someone who mishandled your last one. Do not give sacred information to casual listeners. Do not let loneliness make you leak what obedience told you to guard. Because the truth is, some people only want enough information to decide how they feel about your future. They want to know whether they should support you, compete with you, envy you, warn others about you, or quietly prepare to distance themselves from you. But God is saying, let them wonder. Let them wonder why you are quieter. Let them wonder why you stopped explaining. Let them wonder why they no longer have the same access. Let them wonder why your peace has become private. Chosen one, your future is too valuable to be discussed with people who are not assigned to steward it. Your promise is too sacred to be processed in rooms where unbelief is comfortable. Your next door is too close for you to keep answering questions from people who never believed God called you in the first place. So stay sober, stay quiet, stay discerning. Because the issue is not only who hears your words, the issue is what happens in the spirit when your mouth opens too soon. Chosen one, words are not casual for you. Words are not just sounds leaving your mouth. Words are keys. Words are doors. Words are signals. Words are agreements. When you speak, you are not only communicating information, you are releasing access. You are opening a realm. You are giving shape to something that may still be under divine covering. That is why God is being so strict with your mouth in this season. You cannot treat your words like everyone else treats theirs. What is harmless conversation for somebody else can become spiritual exposure for you. What they call venting, heaven may call leaking. What they call updating people, God may call uncovering the promise. What they call being transparent, the Holy Spirit may call premature access. Chosen one, your mouth can leak what your spirit was supposed to guard. This is not symbolic. This is not dramatic. This is spiritual law. Premature speech can turn a protected promise into an exposed target. When you talk too soon, you may think you are only releasing pressure, but sometimes you are releasing anxiety into the atmosphere. You are letting fear speak before faith finishes standing. You are inviting opinions into a place where only obedience was supposed to sit. You are letting people question what God already confirmed. And before you know it, the faith you needed to carry the promise gets drained by conversations God never assigned. How many times have you spoken too early and felt weaker afterward? How many times did you share what God whispered and then confusion came? How many times did you explain a private instruction and suddenly you started doubting what was clear before you opened your mouth? That was not random. That was not just a bad conversation. That was your spirit recognizing that something sacred had been handled in the wrong room. Chosen one, testimony and premature exposure are not the same thing. Testimony comes after God completes it. Testimony is evidence after manifestation. Testimony is when heaven says, "Now tell them what I have done." But premature exposure happens while the thing is still vulnerable, still forming, still being protected, still requiring quiet obedience. Testimony gives glory to God after the victory. Premature exposure gives information to people before the victory is sealed. Do not confuse the two. Do not dress impatience in spiritual language and call it testimony. Do not say, "I just want to give God glory," when deep down you are trying to prove that something is happening. God does not need you to prove what He is still preparing. He does not need you to announce what He has not released. When it is time, He will make it undeniable. But until then, your assignment is not to explain. Your assignment is to guard. And you need to understand how the enemy works. He does not know everything. He is not all-knowing, but he studies patterns. He studies reactions. He studies relationships. He listens to repeated speech. He watches what makes you emotional. He watches who can pull information out of you. He watches what you keep saying when you are tired, lonely, excited, offended, or afraid. He looks for openings. He looks for agreement. He looks for a crack in discipline where he can send pressure. Some attacks did not begin because the enemy knew everything. Some attacks began because you kept narrating what God was still concealing. You kept giving updates. You kept dropping hints. You kept telling people where you were headed, what you were building, what door you were praying for, what confirmation you received, what dream God gave you, what shift you felt coming. And heaven was saying, "Stop giving location to what I am hiding." This is why God is correcting the need to be understood. You do not owe explanations to people God did not authorize. You do not have to make your silence comfortable for them. You do not have to justify your boundaries. You do not have to prove your obedience to people who would not recognize divine instruction if it interrupted their conversation. Let them misunderstand your quiet. Let them misread your restraint. Let them think nothing is happening. Their opinion is not the covering. God is. Chosen one. Silence in this season is not punishment. It is promotion into discipline. It is a higher level of spiritual government. It is God teaching you that access must be earned, words must be weighed, and timing must be honored. The closer the promise gets, the more dangerous loose speech becomes. So close your mouth where God has not given release. Guard the door of your lips. Protect the evidence, because what God is bringing you into is too close now for careless words. Chosen one, the closer you get, the stricter the instruction becomes. God does not tighten the command because He is trying to frustrate you. He tightens the command because the promise is no longer far away. When something is still distant, you may not feel the pressure as strongly. But when it gets near, when heaven begins moving pieces into position, when the door is almost ready to open, obedience becomes more precise. The instruction becomes sharper. The margin for careless behavior becomes smaller. This is why you cannot afford to treat this season like every other season. God works in seasons. There are seasons to speak boldly, and there are seasons to stay quiet. There are seasons to testify, and there are seasons to observe. There are seasons to confront, and there are seasons to let God handle what your mouth wants to address. There are seasons to announce, and there are seasons to let the evidence speak after God reveals it. And if you do not discern the season, you will use the right gift at the wrong time and call it faith when it is really impulse. Chosen one, you can feel it. Do not pretend you cannot. Something has shifted. There is a strange tension around you. You are not comfortable in the places you used to be comfortable. Conversations that used to satisfy you now drain you. People you used to run to now feel unsafe for certain details. You feel unusual isolation, but you also feel unusual focus. You feel resistance, but you also feel momentum. You may be having restless dreams, sudden emotional waves, unexpected reminders, strange confirmations, and a deep inner knowing that something is changing even though you cannot fully explain it. That is late-stage blessing pressure. That is what happens when the promise is close enough for your spirit to sense movement, but not yet released enough for your eyes to see the full manifestation. And in that narrow place, the pressure to talk often increases. Your flesh wants relief. Your flesh wants to say, "Let me just tell somebody." Your flesh wants comfort, validation, agreement, applause, proof, and reassurance. But the enemy wants access. He wants one sentence. He wants one emotional leak. He wants one careless conversation. He wants one moment where excitement outruns obedience. So God says, be still, stay quiet, do not move by impulse. This is not the hour to be led by loneliness. This is not the hour to be led by excitement. This is not the hour to prove people wrong. This is not the hour to post because they doubted you. This is not the hour to speak because you are tired of being underestimated. Chosen ones do not move by pressure. Chosen ones move by instruction. Chosen ones do not speak because the emotion is strong. Chosen ones speak when God releases the sound. God is training you to stop announcing doors before they open. He is training you to stop naming rooms before you enter them. He is training you to stop telling people where you are going while He is still preparing the key. Because some of you have lost peace in the past by celebrating too early with the wrong people. You shared the door before it opened, then spent the next season fighting opinions, questions, delays, jealousy, and doubt. But this time God is saying, not again. You will not expose what I am still positioning. This restraint is maturity. This quiet is growth. This silence is not weakness. It is government. It is discipline. It is the evidence that you are becoming someone who can carry more without needing to announce more. The old you needed people to know. The old you needed someone to validate the process. The old you wanted to prove that God was with you. But the refined you can sit with a promise and not leak it. The refined you can feel a shift and not broadcast it. The refined you can hold confirmation without turning it into conversation. And hear this clearly. Near breakthrough, obedience becomes more precise because the promise is no longer far away. The instruction is strict because the moment is sensitive. The silence is heavy because the blessing is close. So do not resent the restraint. Do not fight the quiet. Do not interpret the pressure as permission to speak. Let God finish what He is doing. Because silence is not only protecting the blessing outside of you, it is recalibrating the vessel inside of you. God is not only hiding the promise from the wrong ears, He is healing the part of you that wanted to reveal it too soon. Chosen one, God is not only hiding the blessing from others, He is healing the part of you that wanted to reveal it too soon. He is touching the place in you that felt unsafe unless somebody knew. He is correcting the part of you that thought silence meant you were invisible, forgotten, overlooked, or losing. Because some of you did not talk because God told you to talk. You talked because anxiety needed relief. You explained because fear wanted control. You overshared because being understood made you feel protected. You defended what God already approved because deep down you still needed people to agree with what heaven had already spoken. But God is saying, I am detoxing that out of you, not to embarrass you, not to shame you, not to make you hard. He is detoxing your spirit from the addiction to being seen before the appointed time. He is detoxing your heart from the need to be believed by people who were never assigned to validate your calling. He is detoxing your mouth from defending what obedience already settled. He is teaching you that if God confirmed it, you do not need a committee to approve it. Chosen one, the old pattern was talking from anxiety, explaining from fear, posting from pressure, answering every question because silence felt like weakness, defending every move because accusation made you nervous, giving too many details because you thought information would make people understand you. But all it did was drain you. It pulled you into conversations that disturbed your peace. It made you rehearse your pain. It made you relive your process. It made you keep presenting evidence to people who had already decided not to believe you. This is why God is slowing your reactions. He is putting a holy pause between what you feel and what you say. He is retraining your nervous system to stop jumping at every question, every accusation, every strange look, every delayed answer, every unanswered text, every person who suddenly acts different. You do not have to respond to every signal. You do not have to interpret every silence. You do not have to correct every assumption. You do not have to prove your heart to people committed to misunderstanding your obedience. Silence recalibrates you. Silence brings you back to God's voice. Silence teaches your body that peace is not found in being congratulated. Peace is not found in being defended. Peace is not found in everybody knowing the truth. Peace is found in knowing God knows. Peace is found in obeying without applause. Peace is found in carrying confirmation quietly while heaven finishes the work. And if you pay attention, you will notice something changing in you. Your peace is returning. Your clarity is sharpening. Your confidence is becoming quieter, but stronger. You are not as desperate to explain. You are not as shaken by delay. You are not as controlled by who claps and who stays silent. You are becoming settled, sober, discerning, less reactive, less available to drama, less addicted to reassurance. Line, more anchored in instruction. That is maturity. That is healing. That is God making you strong enough to carry favor without needing applause. Because favor in the hands of an unhealed person can become performance. Blessing in the hands of someone desperate for validation can become exposure. But when God heals that need in you, you can be trusted with more, because you will not turn every private miracle into public proof. Hear this clearly. Authority is not always loud. Authority is not always explaining. Authority is not always correcting the room. Sometimes authority is knowing and remaining still. Sometimes authority is having the answer and refusing to argue. Sometimes authority is carrying evidence and waiting for God to reveal it. Sometimes authority is being underestimated and not needing to rescue your image. Chosen one, this silence is healing you deeper than you realize. It is breaking the fear that you are nobody if nobody sees you. It is breaking the lie that you are behind if nobody celebrates you. It is breaking the impulse to expose sacred things just to feel safe for a moment. And once that inner need for validation is broken, you will finally be able to recognize the practical boundaries God is demanding before the blessing becomes visible. Chosen one, a protected future requires present boundaries. Do not wait until the blessing becomes visible to start guarding access. Set the boundary now, before the door opens, before the announcement, before the evidence appears, before people start circling with questions, opinions, interest, suspicion, and sudden concern. Because if you do not practice restraint while it is still hidden, You may not have discipline when it becomes visible. God is giving you practical instruction now. Pause before you answer personal questions. Do not let people pull information out of you just because they ask with confidence. Every question does not require an answer. Every conversation does not deserve detail. Every person who asks, "So what are you working on?" does not need to know what God is building in you. Breathe before you respond. Let your spirit check the room before your mouth opens. Ask God quietly, "Is this safe? Is this a sign? Is this the time?" And if there is no peace, say less. Pray before sharing updates. Pray before sending the message. Pray before making the call. Pray before posting the picture. Pray before saying, "Let me tell you what God is doing." Because some updates are not disobedient because they are false. They are disobedient because they are early. Some details may be true, but they are not released. Some testimonies may be forming, but they are not ready. Some doors may be opening, but God has not told you to announce the address. Chosen one, refuse to explain movements God told you to keep private. If God told you to move quietly, move quietly. If God told you to separate, separate quietly. If God told you to prepare, prepare quietly. If God told you to stop sharing with certain people, stop sharing. You do not need to hold a meeting about your obedience. You do not need to issue a statement about your boundaries. You do not need to make people understand why they no longer have the same access. Sometimes, the most powerful explanation is no explanation. Reduce unnecessary communication with people who drain your peace. Reduce conversations with people who mock your faith. Reduce access to people who turn every blessing into suspicion. You know the ones who cannot receive good news without questioning it. The ones who hear your hope and immediately introduce fear. The ones who make your spirit heavy after every conversation. The ones who always need to know more, but never pray more. Chosen one, stop calling that connection harmless when your peace keeps bleeding after contact. This does not mean you become rude. This does not mean you become cold. This means you become governed. You can answer simply. You can say, "I am praying through some things." You can say, "God is working, and I am staying focused." You can say, "I will share when the time is right." You can say, "I do not have release to talk about that yet." Say less without lying. Be kind without opening the vault. Be respectful without surrendering the blueprint. Selective language is wisdom. Simple responses are protection. Quiet answers can still be truthful answers. And instead of public disclosure, practice private documentation. Write the vision. Journal the confirmations. Record what God spoke. Write down the dates. Write down the dreams. Write down the instructions. Pray over the details. Cover the promise in secret. Let your notebook hold what social media does not need to hold. Let prayer carry what casual conversation cannot carry. Let God decide what belongs in public and what belongs in the secret place. Some things are meant to be written before they are spoken. Some things are meant to be prayed through before they are announced. And hear this warning clearly. Do not post too soon. Do not hint too much. Do not celebrate too loudly before God releases the moment. Do not use social media to provoke people who doubted you. Do not post to make them wonder. Do not post to make them regret. Do not post to prove you are rising. That is still validation. That is still exposure. That is still your flesh trying to turn obedience into performance. If God is blessing you, He does not need your insecurity to advertise it. If this word is confirming what God has already been dealing with in your spirit, comment, "My silence is my shield," not as a performance, not for attention, as a declaration of obedience, as a line in the spirit. My silence is my shield. My restraint is my protection. My boundary is my agreement with God. I will not let pressure pull sacred information out of my mouth. Chosen one, your future is too valuable for loose access. Your next season is too close for careless communication. Your promise is too sacred to be managed by impulse. Set the boundary now. Guard the details now. Practice quiet now, because the blessing will not remain hidden forever. God is not covering it because He will never reveal it. He is covering it because it must be revealed by Him, not forced by your impatience. When God reveals it, the timing will be clean. The evidence will be strong. The door will be undeniable. But until then, stay quiet, stay sober, stay obedient, and let heaven decide when what is hidden becomes seen. Chosen one, When God reveals it, no one will be able to deny it. Hear that in your spirit. You will not have to fight for recognition when God decides it is time. You will not have to chase people down and prove that He was with you. You will not have to force them to see what they refuse to believe. You will not have to rehearse the pain, replay the process, or defend the hidden season. When God opens the door, the evidence will speak. This is why you cannot panic in the quiet. This is why you cannot rush the announcement. Divine reveal is different from human announcement. Human announcement says, "Look at me, believe me, validate me, notice what is happening." Divine reveal says, "God did this, and no one can argue with it." Human announcement depends on timing you can control. Divine reveal comes with authority you cannot manufacture. Human announcement can be questioned, mocked, misunderstood, and resisted. But when God reveals a thing, He puts weight on it. He puts confirmation on it. He puts evidence on it. He puts a seal on it. Chosen one, what God reveals in His timing will not need your premature announcement. You do not have to leak it to make it real. You do not have to hint at it to keep yourself encouraged. You do not have to use the blessing as a weapon against the people who doubted you. That is important. When the door opens, do not become arrogant. Do not become loud in the wrong spirit. Do not turn your testimony into revenge. Do not use your elevation to punish the people who could not see you in your hidden season. Walk in humility, walk in wisdom, walk in quiet authority. Because the blessing is not proof that you are better than them. The blessing is proof that God is faithful. The door is not permission to boast in your flesh. The door is evidence that obedience was not wasted. The reveal is not a platform for pride. It is a witness to divine timing. So when God brings it into the open, carry it with clean hands. Let your posture say what your mouth does not need to say. Let your peace speak. Let your discipline speak. Let the fruit speak. Authority is not always loud. Sometimes authority is entering what God promised without needing to explain every step that got you there. Some people who misunderstood your hidden season will see it later. They will understand later why you pulled back. They will understand later why you stopped sharing details. They will understand later why you became quieter, more focused, more guarded, more sober. Some thought you were losing. Some thought nothing was happening. Some thought God forgot you. Some thought your silence meant failure. But they did not know you were under covering. They did not know God was hiding evidence until the appointed time. They did not know roots were growing in darkness. They did not know strength was forming in silence. And hear this clearly. The ones who doubted you cannot stop what God has sealed. The ones who spoke against it cannot cancel what heaven authorized. The ones who laughed late will see late. The ones who judged early will understand late. The ones who counted you out will have to watch God count you in. Not because you forced it, not because you manipulated it, not because you exposed it too soon, but because God revealed it when the moment was mature. Not early, not late, right on time. That is how God works. He does not need panic to help His plan. He does not need your anxiety to speed up His promise. He does not need your premature speech to secure your future. If He said it, He knows how to reveal it. If He started it, He knows how to finish it. If He covered it, He knows when to uncover it. Your job is not to force the moment. Your job is to obey until the moment arrives. Chosen one, let this comfort you, but let it sober you too. The blessing is close, but your excitement still needs discipline. The door is near, but your mouth still needs guarding. The reveal is coming, but your spirit still needs strength to obey the instruction. So now the prayer is not only, God, bless me. The prayer is, God, teach me how to protect what you are blessing. The prayer is, strengthen me to stay silent until you speak. The prayer is, close every wrong ear, quiet every anxious impulse, and make me ready for the reveal that only you can release. So pray this with me now, chosen one. Father, in the name of divine authority, seal my mouth where silence is required. Put a guard over my lips where my flesh wants to speak too soon. Close my mouth in the rooms where my words would expose what you are still covering. Stop me before I leak what you told me to carry. Interrupt me before I explain what you told me to protect. And open my mouth only when speech is assigned, only when the timing is clean, only when the word is released, only when heaven says, now speak. God, give me discernment in this season. Let me recognize unsafe access before I hand out sacred information. Let me sense hidden jealousy before I mistake it for support. Let me identify manipulative curiosity before I confuse it with concern. Expose the relationships that cannot carry my next season. Expose the conversations that drain my faith. Expose the ears that listen only to monitor, compare, question, gossip, or quietly resist what you are doing in my life. Do not let my loneliness make me careless. Do not let my excitement make me open the wrong door. Do not let my need to be understood make me give access to people you never assigned. Father, give me peace over the hidden process. Remove anxiety from my spirit. Remove impatience from my decisions. Remove the pressure to prove that something is happening. I do not have to prove your hand is on me before the appointed time. I do not have to announce what you have not revealed. I do not have to defend what you have already confirmed. Teach my soul to rest while the evidence is still hidden. Teach my heart to trust while the door is still closed. Teach my mind to stay sober while the promise is close but not yet public. I declare protection now over my plans, my finances, my calling, my family, my relationships, my assignment, my creativity, and my coming breakthrough. Cover every detail. Cover every document. Cover every conversation. Cover every decision. Cover every step that is being arranged in the unseen. Let nothing be stolen through careless speech. Let nothing be delayed through wrong access. Let nothing be polluted by fear, pride, comparison, jealousy, or premature exposure. What you are building, protect it. What you are preparing, preserve it. What you are blessing, teach me how to guard it. God, replace fear-based secrecy with holy restraint. I do not want to hide because I am afraid. I want to be quiet because I am obedient. I do not want to move in suspicion. I want to move in wisdom. I do not want to shut down my heart. I want to submit my mouth. Make me governed. Make me discerning. Make me steady. Make me strong enough to carry confirmation without needing applause. Make me mature enough to hold a promise without turning it into performance. And I declare that no weapon formed through gossip, jealousy, monitoring, manipulation, or premature exposure will prosper against what God is preparing. Every wrong ear is closed. Every wrong mouth is silenced. Every wrong hand is blocked. Every hidden agenda is interrupted. Every assignment sent to drain, distract, delay, or disturb me is broken now. The promise is covered. The timing is protected. The door is guarded. The blessing is under divine authority. Chosen one, receive this in your spirit. I will move quietly. I will obey quickly. I will listen carefully. I will speak only when God releases me. I will not expose what heaven is covering. I will not trade divine timing for emotional relief. I will not let pressure pull sacred information out of my mouth. I will protect what God is blessing. I will move quietly, obey quickly, and receive fully. Chosen one, leave with this declaration in your mouth, but let it first settle in your spirit. Do not let excitement make you speak before God releases you. Do not let loneliness make you hand sacred details to unsafe people. Do not let pressure make you explain what heaven told you to guard. Do not let pride make you announce a promise before the appointed moment. This is not the hour to leak. This is not the hour to prove. This is not the hour to perform. This is the hour to obey. Silence is obedience. Silence is protection. Silence is strategy. Silence is alignment. Silence is not you being afraid. Silence is you being governed. Silence is not you being forgotten. Silence is you being covered. Silence is not you losing your voice. Silence is God teaching your voice when to speak, where to speak, how to speak, and who is assigned to hear it. So say this with authority. I will not expose what God is covering. I will not explain what God is still forming. I will trust His timing. I will not reveal the promise before God reveals the moment. I will not let my emotions outrun my instruction. I will not trade protection for temporary validation. I will not hand my future to wrong ears. I will stay still until God says move. I will stay quiet until God says speak. I will stay covered until God reveals it. And if this word has touched the hidden place in your spirit, leave your prayer request in the comments. Let this community stand with you for protection, wisdom, discernment, and breakthrough. You are not standing alone in this guarded season. We are praying that every wrong door closes, every wrong ear is blocked, every anxious impulse is quieted, and every promise God has assigned to your life is protected until the appointed time. If this warning confirmed your season, like this video as a sign of agreement, Share it with another chosen one who is being pressured to talk too soon. Someone needs this before they expose what God is still covering. And subscribe for the next word of guidance, because in this season, you need instruction, not noise. You need confirmation, not confusion. You need wisdom that keeps you aligned with divine timing. Now comment, 777, I will stay silent until God reveals it. Not for show, not for attention, as an act of alignment. As a declaration that your mouth is submitted, your promise is covered, and your timing belongs to God. Chosen one, God is not hiding you to shame you. He is hiding you because what is coming must be protected until it is ready.